Hello and welcome on to the Boro Tailgates. I'm Richie Armagost, and joining me is co-host Mike and Alex. How are you doing today, Mike?
Uh, Pretty good actually. When you came to me for this idea, I really liked the idea because Alex actually has a vlog on YouTube,
I
Alex Brown
do.
Vlogs. Check out the recent one. We went to a bridge, um, and we kind of had the idea of doing like a podcast or talk show anyway. But I'm glad we actually are doing this because, like, let's be real, it's better equipment,
By far.
better mics, so you can actually hear us better. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this, and I can't wait to get this talk show journey going. All right, Alex, what do you think about the show?
Well, I'm equally excited. I've been thinking about this kind of thing for a long time. I've always had a pretty big passion for sports, football especially, and I've always kind of wanted to do something like this, some kind of podcast, talk show kind of thing, but haven't really had the equipment to bring that to fruition yet. So to be able to come here and do this in an actual professional kind of setting, it's pretty cool. It's a lot better than anything I would have expected to be able to do at this point in my life. So. Richie, thank you for having me on this. I'm really excited.
Of course. So, during high school, did you guys play any sports?
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Here's the thing. I was a baseball player, and my freshman year, obviously, like, I was on JV. I didn't like. I knew there was no way I was gonna play varsity. That's fine. That was fine. That was probably my best year playing baseball. Like I started off a little slow, like at the beginning of the season, but I really started to like pick it up towards the end of the year. Like I had a lot of like hits and whatever. Sophomore year, I thought I was ready. I really wasn't. I did start one varsity game, so actually like at least I could say like I worked hard enough to
More than most.
start. Junior year was the COVID year, which I kind of worked so hard for, and like when that happens, you kind of like your confidence starts to go like, oh my gosh, like how's next year gonna go?
Yeah.
Then the next year happens, and it didn't go the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
There was a, I didn't start the year, and I was getting pretty frustrated. I even asked my coach like, hey, what's going on? And he said, I'm like, I'm off to a slow start. I was like, all right, fair. He finally put me in, and I played like 2 or 3 games, I think. And there was a fly ball. I was a right fielder. There was a fly ball to right, and I couldn't get to it. And I don't think anybody else on my team was going to be able to get to it.
Yeah.
And it drops foul, but I get back to the dugout after the inning, and it was my fault because he thought I should have caught that, and I didn't start for the rest of the year. And that really killed my confidence.
Wow.
So after I got kind of, not belittled, but like once that happened, it kind of killed my confidence. And my friends tried to like pick me back up.
Yeah.
Like there was to a point, like I really got self-confidence issues. But, and my dad did so well trying to help me out. And like in the cage, I thought it was getting fine. But like once I got to the field with the team, it just wasn't happening. Like, I mean, when I see my high school coach now, it's water under the bridge. Like,
Right, yeah.
no problem. But yeah, I don't really want to play again.
That's
like
fair.
there's a baseball team here. I really don't want to play again, but like I'll still watch like the Pirates, and we'll get to the Pirates later, trust me. But yeah, it just really wasn't like it really ruined my like wanting to play baseball.
That's fair.
So yeah, so Alex, what about you?
Well, in high school, I did football and track. I've been playing football I did play football for 5 years, 7th grade through 12th. I wasn't really an actual like full-time starter. I didn't get a ton of reps on offense or defense even senior year. I was more special teams. But it was great. It was a great time. I loved my team. I loved our culture that we started building and kind of the team that we started becoming and the direction things started moving compared to the past because historically we were kind of I hate to say not taken seriously in the classification we played in, but for a long time a lot of people didn't give us a lot of respect. So it was really cool to be part of a culture that started shifting and becoming a team that garnered some respect whenever you played them. And I did track too. I was a thrower. It was fun. It was honestly a good time. Track was kind of just a thing where it was like I was a freshman in high school, and I was just kind of looking for something to occupy my time. And my friend was like, "You should come do track." And I was like, "All right." And then I started throwing, and I ended up sticking with it all through high school, and it was pretty fun.
So, what's you guys' favorite players?
Um, well, I like to watch baseball, football, hockey, and basketball. Now, basketball's because there's no Pittsburgh NBA team.
Right.
I like the Atlanta Hawks. Ice Tray, baby, King of New York, King of New York. And then of course all the Pittsburgh teams. My favorite players, as you could see by my shirt, Kenny Pickett. And for the Pirates, Brian Reynolds, the guy that the Pirates acquired for Andrew McCutchen. And I'll get into more about Reynolds a little bit later, but yeah, those are the guys I really enjoy watching. So.
And for me, despite the fact that I'm currently wearing a Tennessee Titans jersey, my favorite team is the Steelers. I'm a hometown kid. I love my Pittsburgh sports. I mainly watch football and hockey are the two that I really, really actually pay attention to whenever I'm watching pro sports especially. Mm-hmm. So, in terms of favorite players, love Najee. Crazy athlete.
Mm-hmm. I love Najee.
Yeah, he's great. He's awesome. I loved watching his game at Alabama too.
Yeah.
And then, Penguins. How can you not love watching Sidney Crosby play?
Oh, dude, the GOAT.
The GOAT. He's insane.
Absolute
He's
GOAT.
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like once, this is just my opinion, once Crosby retires, this is going to be the first rebuild for the Penguins.
It's going to be the first rebuild since, when did he get drafted? 2007?
7, 8, something like that.
Yeah. So.
I feel like they need to start drafting people now to,
absolutely.
to prepare.
Yeah, they need to start putting the pieces in place for when he's gone and when Malkin's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to mention that too. Crosby is, I really like enjoying watching Crosby. That playoff first game against the Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That was good.
Crazy. Igor. Curse that man. Curse that man. Yeah, man.
So how do you guys get into sports?
Well, okay. So really well, of course my parents introduced. The first sports game I went to was a Pirates game at PNC Park in 2011. They were playing the Dodgers, who actually still had Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could probably name a few people from that roster. That would be tough. It would be tough, but I can name a few. But I'm actually also a pro wrestling fan. My number one. It actually is my number one sport, but since the reason why I don't say it is because really people don't really consider pro wrestling a sport. They consider it as entertainment. So that's why I didn't really mention it at the start. But I would say pro wrestling is my number one. Whatever field I can get into it, I would love to get to there one day. But yeah, that's really how I was introduced to it. Also obviously had the Steeler game on every Sunday, Big Ben playing and everything. Got to see one Super Bowl, a win in a lifetime, and a loss. But man, yeah, that's really how I got introduced to it. Really, yeah. So, what about you, Alex?
Mainly the same, especially for football. I come from a family full of Yinzers.
Oh.
So.
How about that?
How about that?
It's Pat McAfee.
Downtown, baby.
Pat McAfee, greatest Yinzer of all time.
Oh, Pat McAfee is the greatest Yinzer of all time. But yeah, every time going over to a family member's house, there's always a Steeler game on Sundays. It's typical Italian family stuff. You go over on Sunday, they got spaghetti and meatballs, and you got
I bet that's high quality spaghetti and meatballs.
It really was. But the first game of football that I genuinely watched that made me passionate about football was watching Russell Wilson throw a pick to Malcolm Butler on the 1 yard line in Super Bowl 49. That was the first football game I watched where I was like, wow, this is crazy. I like this sport a lot.
Wow.
And then hockey's just the same kind of thing. My dad is a very, very big hockey fan. My mom not quite as much. But I would be sitting on the couch with my dad, and the Pens would be up like 3-1. I'd be like, "Oh, there's no way they're gonna lose," and he'd like yell at me about jinxing the Penguins because he's a really superstitious hockey fan. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I like how during playoff hockey games when the Penguins would score, like every time the whole house go go.
Oh, every time, my dad would be screaming his head off
Yeah.
in the living room over the Penguins scoring.
Right. Yeah, man. I feel like how many sporting events have you been to?
Not many, actually.
Really?
I've been to I went to a couple Steeler games when I was younger. That was before I really got into football, so I didn't really know what was happening. And I've sadly never been to a Penguins game before.
Oh, man.
Actually, legitimately never been to a Penguins game.
Man, when we're like seniors and like we got
Yeah.
enough money, we're going to a game.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure.
For me, I've been to a lot of Pirate games, sadly. I've
been to one.
I've been to what game have you been to?
That was also a long time ago. I'm not sure.
Ah,
I'm not
crap.
sure what it was.
The best thing about that is too, like if you ever go to another Pirate game, sit up top because like the best thing, like maybe like third base or first base, because like when there's like a fly ball to the outfield, every time it's like, it's out, and then it's like not even that. It's like basically a can of corn, like straight to him. I've been to a lot of Pirate games. There was like 3 years in a row where we got Pitt season tickets. Like
Oh, wow.
I've pretty much been to Kenny Pickett's almost like all of his college games too. I was there
Yeah.
when he upset Miami.
Oh yeah.
I was there.
He's a freshman.
I was at the first Pitt Penn State game and the second, and yeah, 51-6. But yeah, and I've been to two Steelers. Penguins. I've been to two Penguins games. The first one they got shut out 4-0.
Oh.
So then the next one I went to, once they scored, because they scored in the beginning, I was like, all right, I'm going home. I've seen enough.
And you finally saw the Penguins score.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we actually saw a fight too. Like.
Oh yeah.
So we were like, yeah, let's go, punch him. And yeah, I've been to a lot of pro wrestling shows. I
Yeah.
went to a Monday Night Raw in 2013. I went to the Royal Rumble actually in 2014,
Oh,
one of the
wow.
biggest shows. Yeah, Dave Bautista won it that year. And one of the things they do is they point to the sign when they win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And we were right by the sign, and
No way.
the pyro goes off too.
Oh,
it
that's
was,
so cool.
it was brutal though. It was loud.
Oh,
But
I bet.
then we didn't go to another show until 2017. We went to a Raw, and then we went to another pay-per-view in 2018.
Yeah.
Then I actually fell out of WWE too, and I've been watching All Elite Wrestling now. It actually is owned by Tony Khan. He's the son of Shad Khan.
Oh, the Jaguars owner?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we won't get into that. But hey, they're playing well right now.
They are playing well.
They're
That's
playing
true.
right now.
That's true.
Yeah, I went to AEW Dynamite last year. Then the same week we went to another show, which was their second show called Rampage. And then a year later, this year, we actually went to Front Row to another Dynamite.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my favorite wrestler is Sammy Guevara, and when he was in the ring, I had a shirt. Everybody was booing him because he was a good guy, but everybody was hating him for some reason.
Yeah.
My friends kept trying to, and my brother kept trying to push me towards the guardrail to try to get him to see me. Yeah, it was good. First Dynamite, I actually had an interaction with him. Like he pointed at my shirt or whatever. Yeah, it was cool.
That's
but,
cool.
Yeah, that's really I mean, I'm rambling here, but yeah, those are the shows I've been to, like, and sporting events too. So, yeah.
So, this show is being recorded on Wednesday, October 5th. It's just a few days before the upcoming football game.
Right.
So, how do you guys think that game's going to go?
Actually, Richie, now that you mention it, I got my own fancy schmancy little stat sheet over here.
Look at this guy.
So I did some research last night to be prepared for this. Currently, Gannon, first of all, we're playing Gannon, homecoming. Big deal, homecoming football game. Gannon is a good football team. Overall, in terms of total offense and defense, they are good for 5th and 4th out of 16 in the PSAC. Offensively, they're averaging 400 yards per game. Defensively, they're allowing only 275. So they're muscling opponents pretty good. Outscored all their opponents 154 to 86. So Edinburgh's gonna have a tough test this week. Points for to points against 63 to 130. And despite that, they've won 3 of their 5 games so far. Offensive yards a game 282 and defensively 355. Offensively and defensively, that's good for 15th and 11th out of 16 in the PSAC. So they're definitely going to have their work cut out for them. I've got some impact players here as well. I tried to go with each team's quarterback and then an offensive skill position that's making a large impact, and then a defensive impact player. So quarterbacks, Edinburgh's Isaac Bernard has completed 58% of his passes for 1,200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, which is good for 240 yards per game. So he's putting up the numbers, just haven't really been able to cash in a whole bunch. And then Corey Curtis, the Gannon quarterback, is very good. Completed 61% of his passes for a little over 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 1 interception, 1 solo interception. That's good for 253 a game. Thaddeus Stanfield, the leading receiver for Edinburgh, has 35 catches for 445 yards, which is 89 yards per game. He also has 1 receiving touchdown, so he's doing pretty good. He's the number 1 target by far. I want to say the next receiver has like 200 receiving yards. And then Melvin Blanks for Gannon is their running back. I spoke about how I've been playing football since 7th grade. When I was a freshman, this kid was a senior, and we played them.
Oh, wow.
He was very good in that game. We did not have a good defense that year. He's got 577 rushing yards through 5 games. Good for 4.6 yards per carry and 7 touchdowns. He is tearing it up on the football field right now, 106.2 yards per game. And then defensively for both teams, Clay Cunningham for Edinburgh is far and away, in my opinion, the best player on our defense. 32 tackles, 27 solo.
Wow.
6.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a pick, and a forced fumble. He is all over the field. I want to say he's the middle linebacker on our defense. And then defensively for Gannon, Nicholas White has 23 total tackles, 8 solo, 15 assisted. He has 6 tackles for loss as well, 3 sacks, and a pass breakup. So, both defenses have some pretty secure tacklers, but Edinburgh's definitely going to have their work cut out for them this week. They've got a very tough opponent. They're hot. They're playing really well, and they're putting up a lot of points and a lot of yards. So we'll see how it goes.
So when I was at the last home game, I was actually running the camera for the live stream.
Yeah.
Really, the biggest takeaway I got from that was they got to clean up the turnovers.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Yeah, the turnover differential is...
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was like 5, like Edinburgh fumbled 5 times.
I think they lost all 5 of them, didn't they?
I'm not quite sure, but because I got the stat sheet from the radio person there, and Edinburgh fumbled 5 times, and I can't remember how many interceptions they had.
I think it was just the 1.
Yeah, I think it wasn't Isaac's fault.
No, I'm pretty sure the receiver just slipped on his route. It happens.
Yeah, that usually happens. But yeah, that was really my biggest takeaway from it was the turnovers got to get cleaned up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure the coach knows that.
He does.
So
for sure,
yeah. So that's really my overall takeaway from that too.
Okay. So women's volleyball. You interviewed the coach Slowski for her 500th win. Mm-hmm. How do you think that went?
The interview went well. She's a very nice lady. I got a lot of good things to say about her. She was very nice and willing to do the interview. The funny thing is she answered 2 questions that I already had written down in one. So, but the thing is, she mentioned something about her college coach actually being on the coaching staff.
Oh, okay.
So I actually came up with a question on the fly, and Richie probably can agree. It was probably my best question. So, very nice. I like her answer on advice she's taken in, treat your players like they're your own kids. That's really as
absolutely.
a coach, that's really what you need is to respect your players
for sure. Yeah.
As your kids and protect them. And very nice. She was very nice, and I hope the rest of the season goes well. So and they're playing well. They're really good.
500 career wins is no slouch.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Really, really good. But I hope everything goes well for the rest of the year for them. So. Yeah.
Okay. So for national sports, we're gonna see the Steelers play the Buffalo this week. What do you think about that?
You want to start?
Oh, you want me to start?
If
Okay.
you want to, yeah, go ahead.
Bills' offense is a juggernaut. They are impressive. They are a good football team. They started pretty sloppy against Baltimore last week.
Oh yeah.
Baltimore actually should have won that game. Actually, now that I come to think of it, that marks 2 straight weeks where Baltimore blew a 17-point lead. Or more, actually, because they were up way more against Miami than 17 points. The Bills are very good. I said the Steelers are my favorite team, but Titans are number 2, and let's just say the Bills exposed my Tennessee Titans on primetime 2 weeks ago, and it was
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah, it's not fun to be exposed.
No, it is not.
No. I think if you know me, if I'm about to talk about the Steelers and the Bills game, I think we know where I'm about to go. Kenny Pickett, like this change needed to happen.
I agree.
It needed to happen. Like, I don't want to honestly going into the season, I was like, you know what? Have Kenny sit a few games behind Mitch. Not a
Yeah.
bad idea.
No.
I mean, after what happened in Chicago, I was kind of actually happy Mitch was getting a shot here, and Mitch just wasn't performing, man. He just wasn't, and it was time. It was time. Now, people will argue, oh, they're not really that impressed with Kenny. It's he hasn't. He played well in the preseason.
He did.
And okay, so back to his Pitt days. If you want to say he didn't play anybody for the ACC, it wasn't that strong a division, that's fair. But he put up the numbers he needed to.
He did.
To become a Heisman. There's a reason why Mike Tomlin drafted him.
That's true.
That's
agree.
the reason. And say what you want about the 3 picks last week. I think he did what he could, and I feel okay, the 3rd pick he had to throw that.
You could make an argument in a way that none of them were technically his fault.
I think the second one kind of was.
The second one, I'll give it to you, but I mean, the first 2 hit a receiver's hands.
Claypool definitely should have caught that first one.
Yeah, and if Fryermuth didn't jump up for that one, if he let it go out of bounds, that would not have been a pick.
Yeah.
And then the third one was a Hail Mary. So that one definitely wasn't his fault.
Yeah, so now, don't get me wrong, going into Buffalo is very tough.
Yeah,
It's
they got a
very
tough
tough.
stretch.
Von Miller, it's gonna be tough. But in my opinion, if people are saying this stuff about Kenny, which I believe he's a good quarterback, I followed his whole career at Pitt.
I agree.
He's gonna have ups, he's gonna have downs. He's a rookie. It happens.
Yeah.
I think he will play well against the Bills. I think he will. Do I think the Steelers are going to win? No. But I think Kenny will play well, and then I think he's going to go into the game against the Buccaneers and Tom Brady, which for me, that's going to be big, seeing him going up against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think he'll play well. I honestly think he'll play well, for real. So yeah, what do you think about Kenny going into Buffalo?
I think it's going to be one heck of a test for his first full start.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be big. It's going to be a big statement for him. It's going to be a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think as long as he's a young gunslinger, he's going to make mistakes. He's probably going to turn the ball over at least once.
Oh, for sure.
You know, between the Bills' secondary and their pass rush,
right.
He'll probably throw a pick. He might lose a fumble on a strip sack. I think he probably commits 2 turnovers in the game, but I think very similar to how the Dallas Cowboys are playing football right now, they will go as far as the defense carries them right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a score prediction? Do you want to ballpark?
40-21 Buffalo. I think Kenny's going to score 3 touchdowns.
Okay. I think that losing Micah Hyde for the rest of the season definitely hurts.
Right.
But I think first of all, that front 7 is so insanely talented between Ed Oliver, Greg Rousseau, who's very good, Von Miller, Matt Milano. And then you got Trey White over the top. You've got Kyer Elam. You've got Jordan Poyer still. I'm actually going to give them a little bit tighter of a point margin. I think the Steelers' defense is good enough to make it a relatively close game. I'm going to say the Bills are going to win at home 34-17.
That's fair.
I think,
That's fair. I think the Steelers would have a chance to win if TJ Watt was back.
Yeah. He takes a lot of pressure off the rest of the defense.
For real.
Sure.
For real. Like, they need him back now.
They do.
They really need him back. Now, they're not going to make the playoffs. And whatever flaws Kenny has, I think he needs to get it out of the way right now. And if he throws another pick, he throws another pick. If he throws 3 picks again, he throws 3 picks again. He's a rookie. It happens. And I want to actually bring this a couple of facts, too. Big Ben's first game when he got put in, Tommy Maddox, was that who got hurt?
Yeah, Tommy Maddox.
When Tommy Maddox got hurt in 2004, in September, Big Ben threw an interception his second pass attempt.
Yep.
And Big Ben was 12 for 20 with 176 yards, and they lost to Baltimore 30-14. Kenny Pickett's mentor, Peyton Manning, threw a pick, I believe his first pass too.
Very first pass. I believe you're right on
I
that.
think that's what happened, but here's a catch too. He also threw 3 picks.
Yeah, he did.
Same thing with Matthew Stafford. So anybody that is overlooking these picks,
I feel like Andrew Luck threw a lot of picks in his first start too.
I think he was on the list too. He was on the list too. I think people looking at these picks thinking, oh, he's a bust already. Relax. Relax. He's fine. He's going to be fine. Going into Buffalo is tough, yes, but I think overlooking these 3 picks, I don't know why people are doing that. It's 3 picks.
Yeah,
it's his first game. He got put in the second half. You want to argue he needs to be more prepared, whatever, but I think he's going to be fine.
Me too.
I've seen Kenny have a lot of mistakes at Pitt, and he was a Heisman finalist last year. So I think he will be just fine.
And you can see the body language when he's on the field.
He's a leader. He's a leader.
You can see the body language of the whole team. They're all excited.
Yeah, they want to play with him. Like Deontay Johnson said, he has that swag.
Loves him.
Oh yeah. And I think Kenny's actually become like real good friends. I've seen with Muth. Yeah, man, and so everybody's excited. Now I do think they should have maybe had a somewhat similar relationship with Mitch to make sure the morale's like a little higher.
Yeah,
You could argue that.
I get that.
I don't think it would have changed much, but like I just like doing that to Mitch. I don't think that's fair to Mitch. But like,
I agree.
But like the energy does seem like when Tomlin said they needed a spark.
Yeah.
The spark happened. Well, you could tell.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know. Mitch isn't like a natural born leader. He doesn't seem real fiery in general, like in his disposition in general. He just doesn't seem to be like the real fiery type. And Kenny is excited.
Right.
Is part of that being a rookie and wanting to prove himself? Absolutely. But I just think he brings more excitement to the team. Right.
Yeah, it should be an interesting season, and hopefully Kenny brings us like a bunch of Super Bowl trophies.
Get us some rings, Kenny.
Yeah, come on, Kenny, repping your shirt.
Shout out Kenny Pickett.
Shout out. Hey,
gonna watch this.
Fake slide, ACC
baby.
championship. I was going crazy for that, man. I remember when he got drafted too. I FaceTimed him. I was like, they did it! No way! I was going crazy because like here's the thing. I actually saw on social media like he was on the phone and I saw they already announced the 19th pick. I was like, no way. And then I saw Kenny Pickett is a Steeler. I was like, let's go. So yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, so there's that.
So guys, we're going to do a rapid fire about who you think is going to win.
Oh, the NFL games this week?
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. Okay, let's do it.
So Colts at Broncos.
Cold. Nah, no, Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos.
Giants at Packers.
Packers,
yeah.
Chargers at Browns.
Chargers, I hate the Browns.
I hate the Browns. Yeah, Chargers.
Texas at Jaguars.
Jaguars!
Yeah, Duval, baby.
Yeah.
Bears at Vikings.
Vikings,
yeah, absolutely.
Lions at Patriots.
Patriots.
The Lions are playing well, but I'm going to take the Patriots.
I'm going Lions. I think Dan Campbell will know how to win this one.
Okay.
Seahawks at Saints.
Geno Smith is hot. I'm going to take the Seahawks.
I'm going Saints.
Dolphins at Jets.
I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. I think the Dolphins are too deflated after the Tua thing.
Yeah, especially because he's not playing.
Right.
Falcons at Bucks.
Bucks. I wouldn't bet against Tom Brady.
Me either.
Titans at Commanders.
I'm going to take the Titans. Duh.
Commanders.
49ers at the Panthers.
Niners.
Niners.
Yeah.
Baker is not that good of a quarterback.
Eagles at Cardinal.
Eagles.
Eagles.
Cowboys at Rams.
Oh, the Cowboys-Rams game. Cooper Rush against the Rams defense. I'm taking the Cowboys. I'm on the Cooper Rush train. Man. I'm on the Cooper Rush train 100%.
I'm an Aaron Donald guy, man. I got to go with the Rams,
Fair, he's
man.
a Pitt guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The Bengals at Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with the Ravens. The Bengals are kind of struggling so far this year.
Yeah, they are.
Raiders at Chiefs.
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 You can't bet against Pat Mahomes. You just can't. So, is that all the games? Because I think that's a Monday night game.
Yeah, that's all the games.
All right, cool. Now, here we are.
Oh, no.
The Pirates rant. I'm going to try to be as calm as possible. As of right now, the Pirates are 61 and 100. They just lost their 100th game this year.
Oh, my God.
Last year, they were 61 and 101. So this is their second consecutive 100-loss season.
Wow.
In my opinion, they should have at least been close to 500 this year. They have the tools, but they refuse to use them. That's unacceptable. That is unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
It's true.
Now, in 2019, they were 69 and 93. That was the year they called up Brian Reynolds.
Okay.
A little bit better, not good. In 2018, they had a winning record, 82 and 79. I thought they should have done a little bit better in 2019, but that was the year Clint Hurdle got fired.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Now, Brian Reynolds, in my opinion, their best player, who they refuse to pay.
All-star, correct?
All-star as a 26-year-old. They acquired him for Andrew McCutchen. Now, when I talk to casuals, they go, oh, they traded away Andrew McCutchen. Well, why are you mad at your 26-year-old all-star you got out of him? Now, he had one down year in 2020. He had like a 194 average, which is not good, but guess what? That was a 60-game season. You can throw that out the window. He had a slow start this year, but he's picked it up. And the fact they refuse to pay their best player is disgraceful. Now, they might do it this offseason because they realize, hey, we actually could be good in the next couple of years. And they will. If they call up the right people and they sign the right people, they'll be good.
You think they could be a playoff team?
Not next year, but I think in 2 years they will.
2 years? Okay.
In 2 years, I think they will. I think these are the people that need to be in the starting rotation next year. Mitch Keller, Ronci Contreras, Luis Ortiz, who throws 98-mile-per-hour fastballs,
Whew.
JT Brubaker, and when he's ready, one of their top pitching prospects, Mike Burrows, who's played well in the minors, who has been an all-star in the minors. You call up those people, you have a great rotation, and you build off of that. David Bednar, the closer, obviously is the closer, and they really got to pick up their bullpen. It's pathetic. It is pathetic. They've blown so many games, and well, congratulations, you have 100 L's because of your crappy bullpen. Now, say what you want about the McCutchen trade. It was time. He was getting old. And I have some stats here. In 2013 and 2014, when he was really great, and even in 2015 too, in 13 he had a .314 batting average. In 2013 he had that. In 2014, around the same average. 2015, .292, still really good.
Still, yeah.
The last year he was on the Pirates, .256. It was time. He was old. It was time.
consistently regressing.
Brian Reynolds, when he became a Pirate and he got called up, had the same average as McCutcheon's MVP year, sorry. And
Wow, really?
Yeah, .314.
Wow.
The year he was an All-Star, 302. He was a starting center fielder for the All-Star team, and they refused to pay him. Now, I think O'Neal Cruz is also one of their star players. He's been hitting 122 balls, mile per hour, like balls like to right field. He's great. Pay him too. Now, Brian Hayes is off to a slow start, the third baseman. I wouldn't be opposed to trading him to see the asking price has to be high for him.
Yeah, probably.
I wouldn't be opposed to trading him, but they paid him, so that's good. That is good. They paid him. Now, what the Pirates need to do is what everybody knows, and that's spend money. They got to spend money.
Yeah, you do. That's true.
Now, they need to clean house with their coaching staff too. I think they should give their pitching coach another chance because the pitching staff has, like, for starting pitchers, they were off to a slow start and they have really improved. Yeah. Like Mitch Keller was, I wouldn't say horrible this year, not good, but he added a sinker to his repertoire, and he got his ERA below a 3 in a couple months. That good. I would give that coach another chance. I would fire the hitting coach, and I would fire Derek Sheldon, because they have created an environment where it's okay to lose. Like,
yeah.
Here's the thing, Alex. I'm gonna say this: if your football coach went away for a month, and they hired an assistant coach,
like as an interim?
As an interim, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And he made an environment where it's okay to lose. Is that gonna feel good as a player?
Horrible.
Horrible, exactly, horrible. And to me, when they do that, they are wasting, because, like, okay, yes, Brian Reynolds is a little older, 27, still not that old, but, like, for how long people keep, for how long the Pirates keep, like, their players, that's still somewhat old.
Yeah.
I think they're wasting some years of his career.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So I think they got to win. Honestly, if I'm Brian Reynolds, if you don't win in the next 2 years, I'm leaving Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Seriously. And I'm going to go somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to be in your age 29 season at that point.
Yeah. I'm going to the Yankees or the Dodgers or like those teams that actually, like, they want to win.
And they're built to win.
And they're built to win. Exactly. They're built to win. And I think if you don't want to pay Brian Reynolds, and I think if you lose him, then you need to sell the team. And you know Bob Notting's not going to sell the team.
No.
But let's be real. If he did, let's just say he did, you know the environment would be better, and you know the team would get better.
They would.
They would absolutely get better. And guess what? There were times in 2013, 2014, and 2015, and even in 2018 where, like, they were good, obviously, and there's been evidence he spent money when they were good.
Yeah.
That's the winning formula. Now, say what you want about 2019, that's a rebuild year, whatever.
Yeah.
2022, this year, he should have spent more money, in my opinion. Because they have a decent team. But, no, they lost 100 games, and that's pathetic. They need to clean that up by next year. Honestly. They need to clean it up. And Ben Cherington, GM, I thought he wasn't bad from the start.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. In my opinion, this is a hot take. This is a hot take.
Okay.
If they lose 100 games next season, they need to fire him.
That's fair.
They need to get him out of here.
That's fair. That would be, what, 3 consecutive triple-digit loss seasons?
Yes. I think
he
needs to leave. Get fired. Go away. Because he is part of the problem.
Yeah.
So next year, they need to be better. And if they're not, Charrington's got to go. Because this is pathetic. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Really, it is. Sometimes it's hard to watch Pirate games. It is hard because they're so bad. Because it seems like nobody wants to be. The energy's not there. The energy's not there.
Right.
Nobody wants to be there. They're tired. Losing's okay. Like, I kind of feel bad for, like, Brian Reynolds and O'Neal Cruz, who puts in this work to be great.
Yeah, when everyone else in the organization's complacent.
And they're okay to lose.
Yeah.
That's bad. It's pathetic. They need to clean it up. They need to clean it up by next year, in my opinion, because it's pathetic. It's pathetic.
It is.
So, yeah. So that's my rant for the week for the Pirates. It needs to get better. It needs to get better.
So that's all that we have for this week. We'll see you next week.
Paper toss. Yeah.
Yeah.